This is AV SuperFriends Perspectives, a collection of interviews, discussions, and presentations from conferences, trade shows, and events that just don't fit either of the other two shows. Some are long, some are short, but they'll all have valuable insights, useful information, or just good conversation with thought leaders and subject matter experts. And now, the AV SuperFriends.
All right, we're here with Kevin Peterman from Liberty. What's your title?
I'm the Director of Product Management here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what does that exactly mean?
It means I direct products.
Do you direct products?
So I manage our product lines, primarily the electronics, as opposed to our infrastructure line, which is other folks. But
perfect. Yep. So right now we're standing in front of the AVoIP stuff. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure thing. So our AVoIP, which we call our Digi-IP series, is made up of 4 different series, 3 of which are 1 gig, and then 1 is part of the 10 gig SDVoE alliance, which is actually what we're standing in front of now, called our 6000 series, right? So what we're showing here at the show today, and primary focus, is that 6000 series, and the relatively new 5100 series, which is a 4K 6444 over 1 gig JPEG 2000 based system. Jumping back as far as 6000 series, this is actually where we've put the majority of development time over the last year into and expanded. We're now up to 7 SKUs in this line, made up of a combination of transceivers, encoders, decoders in different formats, like wall plates, for example. We have an encoder wall plate, a decoder wall plate. We're now introducing Dante into the 6000 series, so Dante Audio. We have a new transceiver that can on or off ramp Dante Audio. And then a big portion that often gets overlooked and that we think is very valuable, and we're starting to get good feedback from higher ed community specifically, is USB over IP. So the 6000 series and the 5100 series both have the ability to route high-speed 2.0 USB, right? And they do support isochronous data. So in this particular demonstration that we have here for the 6000 series, we actually do have the ability to route 2 different PTZ cameras, switch them, right? Change the host, which computer is seeing them, and so on, allowing for that multiple connection point type of room, experience. So,
perfect. Yeah. So this is going to be a hard question.
All right.
Right? So what is Liberty's stance with what you have going on with AVoIP with SMPTE and IPMX and SMPTE 2110?
Yeah, we don't necessarily have a stance right now on it, right? So what we have done is intentionally embrace the tried and true technologies, right? So H.264, 265 at our more entry price point products. I don't like the entry level word because they're built just as good, but JPEG 2000, the SDVoE Blue River codecs, and so on. We're paying a lot of attention to that. That is, I guess, what is our stance right now. So there's some really cool things that they're doing. We believe today, as it stands, that the codecs that we're using are more appropriate for the markets that we serve, right? We don't do a lot in broadcast, which, some of that stuff seems to be a bigger player in, and so on. So could it make its way into corporate and higher ed? Maybe.
You're kind of waiting to see where the markets play out is basically what I'm hearing a little bit.
But at the same time, driving what we believe is very, tried and true technology and very solid, right? So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
As far as your USB solutions, are you incorporating those into wall plates as well?
Yes, in both series that I mentioned. So in the 6000 series, we are a long-term partner of Icron. So we do build the Icron technology into those wall plates, which is an encoder and a decoder wall plate. In the 5100 series, just on the encode side, 5100 series is more of it's not Icron based because it's 1 gig. It has some limitations in bandwidth, about 190 meg, still isochronous. That's good enough to do a webcam or something like that. But yes, so 3 different wall plate solutions within the AVoIP range. Now we do have quite a few just point-to-point USB extenders that are wall plates as well, including a brand new USB 3 over HDBaseT that is just launching. But that's outside of the of the AVoIP.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We want to move on to the monitoring and look at that. Yeah, let's go over here. Come on over.
Did we talk about a Ranger yet?
Oh, we want to talk about that?
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's go. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
So everything, and that's part of me being a product guy. I get sucked into the product narrative a lot, so the hardware. But if we're really being truthful, as we said, we're basing around very similar codecs that everybody can build a product around. Where it really sets our product apart is Arranger software, and Arranger is what it kind of has layers. So what it is in its most basic form is the software you use to deploy our system, but it can be used for monitoring. It gives real world feedback, real-time feedback, so that you can see that are things connected, did they fall offline, things like that. In addition, it actually has a control system built in. So you have the ability to build UIs and build QR codes and automate and things without deploying any additional control hardware, just by utilizing the software that you already have to deploy our AV over IP. Right, exactly.
Very convenient.
So, yeah, yep.
To use the Arranger, does every device need to be connected to the cloud?
No, so it's all just local area.
Great.
Yep, it's actually not cloud at all. So it is really an on-prem server type deployment. Yeah. So
Should we be worried about Liberty going to the cloud at any time soon in the near future?
Not for what we've been talking about.
Okay.
So we have had some requests to potentially have maybe some sort of cloud access to Arranger, or hey, could I deploy Arranger in the cloud?
But not content.
No. No, not at all. That's which there are technologies, as you know, that can push that more. I call that more streaming. That's not what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, cloud access good, cloud content bad.
I agree. Yeah, we don't want to be in the middle of that. So. Awesome. Want to head on over to, and I'm going to hand this over to Corey. So.
All right. We're here with Corey Briggs from Liberty. How you doing, Corey?
Good. How are you, Justin?
Good. So what's your title and what do you do here?
So I'm a program manager for Liberty. Been on board for almost 3 years now. So I cover anything value-added services, our managed services, software programs as well, and day-to-day operations of it.
Perfect. So we're right here in front of this thing called a CX Detect. So what am I looking at here? It looks like a dashboard, right? So what is this?
Yes, exactly. Dashboard for so CX Detect is going to be your remote monitoring and remediation tool to see everything going on within your AV network or even your IT devices. So if you're looking at the screen here, you would be able to see a list of rooms that have devices tied to it that are categorized by location, floor, and then even down to company for tenancy structures as well. This is all easily filtered based on the device type or the room name, right? All easily. Really the goal is to make it easy to see what's going on within the environment at a glance, with that room or device being online, offline, and then giving you the ability to go in and do some remediation, right? So if the device is offline and you get an alert, what do I need to do? I can go into this dashboard here, go into a diagnostics page, and then go ahead and see if I can need to tunnel into it to do a remote reboot or change an HDMI port on a display, because we love the lovely example of the remote control in the room walked away and grew legs, right? Really, at a glance view of your devices and rooms be online so that you know your users and your environment are able to join conference calls, or just make sure that maybe your digital signage is up and running, and so that your viewers walking through your campus can see the live events going on.
So basically what I'm hearing is anything connected to the network can report to this. Is that a correct assumption?
Absolutely. So bare minimum, if it has an IP address, we can monitor up-down status, and then depending on the manufacturer capabilities, we can dig in deeper for diagnostics and remediation for it.
Gotcha. What kind of protocol sets do you all support as far as how do you reach out to those devices? And
Yep. Yeah, so we would have a couple different virtual agents installed on the network, which we have all security clearances, right? SOC 2 compliance, GDPR compliance, and then we'll go through, answer any IT team's questions to be able to resolve any of those concerns. Have not failed one yet to date, which is always amazing to have. But really, we put those two agents on the network. It's communicating to those devices, and then that pulls in all of the data that we need to be able to display on the dashboard here.
You keep mentioning some of the remediation opportunities that this provides. Can some of those be automated so that when something goes offline, it can take those tier 1 steps before we get involved?
So at this time, it does not do any of the automated remediation for you, right? So it could be proactive, right, by sending out an alert before anyone's ever going to use the room. roadmap-wise, that is a goal that we want to get to, is being able to have those automated workflows in the platform, so that if you can set up an automated workflow, right? If this display goes down, go ahead and try the power cycle. Check the HDMI ports, right? Set that up so that specific rooms have those automated workflows.
So Corey, to that end, you said that that's kind of on the roadmap. That's something coming down the road. Is there, are there limitations as to why that's not there now? Just you have to write in those APIs to be able to switch those devices and things, or is you just physically haven't gotten to it yet?
A little bit of both, right? Right. Resource constraint to be able to have software development always going on. And really, right, which manufacturers would come first to be able to do so, right? You can't boil the ocean, right? So you got to have feedback from those end user communities, and really evaluate the manufacturers to put on a priority list, right? So we've already been evaluating those lists, have some already manufacturers we'd like to address first and foremost, but we're always taking that feedback in as we're talking with the integrators and end users.
And then the other thing is, this looked very different a year or so ago.
Yes.
So this is completely rewritten. Talk about that process, because it's dramatic change.
Yes. So this is the first release to the public of our new user interface here, and really it was driven based on the education community and the feedback that we've gotten from them, based around structuring of the locations and the rooms. So we needed to be able to create ad hoc rooms on the fly, because so many end users, whether it's the education community or the corporate spaces, they're using a lot more of the BYOD, right? You bring in your laptop, plug it in, and you're taking over the room. So we needed a way to be able to monitor a room level up to the locations without having that specific rooms license tied to it, or a hard codec specifically tied to it. We needed to be able to have just a list of devices that create a room. So the new user interface gives that functionality in there of the structure of the rooms and the locations, and then giving you the ability to get into the diagnostics, which is that historical page that you have seen in the past.
So is this cloud-based or on-prem or both? What are the options there?
So out of the box is it the cloud? Sorry if you want to redo that one. So out of the box, it is cloud-based solution. We do have an on-prem version if necessary, right? So federal government, banking, the airports, a lot of those. Zero trust higher ed, right? We would just need to work a little bit more on the front side for hardware requirements on the setup and implementation, but on-prem is definitely possible.
How's procurement work? Is it like a one-time thing, or is it like a subscription-based thing, or what does that look like?
So typically the integrator community is selling the one, 3 or 5 year
purchase, 1, 3 or 5 year
offerings, right? Typically.
Okay.
We do really more based on consumption.
Gotcha.
Right? So we take a kind of step back and pull a reporting, and we see, how many rooms has that integrator monitor throughout this month.
So
right?
It's also based upon room count.
Correct.
So it's different price for 1,000 rooms versus one room for 5 years.
The integrator community gets the bulk pricing,
Gotcha.
Tiered pricing for aggregate total number of rooms across their entire end user.
So I'm hearing the integrator. Would the integrator be into the management of that, or for higher education, or would the administrators in higher education be having access to that? The integrator doesn't have access?
So it can be both.
It could be both if you wanted to?
You could have the integrator only access it. You could have both accessing it, or the integrator could simply just resell this software to the end user,
and then
the higher ed community,
Yeah.
and then the higher ed institution, they would do all the monitoring
That's
on their own.
good to have those options.
Yes.
I'll just give you good feedback.
Flexibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. I think that's all our questions for today.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Hey, we're here with Ed Jankowski, president of Liberty, and we just wanted to spend some time to talk to you about where this business is going. We've been watching your business for about 5-10 years now, and you are considerably growing. We have the Westco thing. Talk to us a little bit about your vision for where things are headed.
Yeah, thanks. The Liberty brand, as most everybody in the marketplace knows, started off as a wire and cable company. We, just like everyone going through analog to digital transition, we've had to evolve and change our business. It goes back almost 12, 15 years where we bought a company called Intelex that got us into the electronics business. And with lots of lessons learned, lots of R&D, we feel like we're in a really good place from introducing USB over IP product lines and our USB portfolio, our remote monitoring software now. So it is. Everyone knows it. It's just a constant evolution.
Absolutely. And we're seeing a little bit more control happening too, and some monitoring coming out.
Yep.
So what are the plans for the future for growth? What do you see as far as where the AV world's going, and where can Liberty take that?
Yeah, we consider our DNA, or what secret sauce we bring to the market, as far as installation efficiency, helping integrators and end users, whether the integrator be more profitable in their installations, or an end user saving time and labor and money in the installation. So that DNA is going to stay the same. You're never going to see us competing full-blown control and trying to do everything that a deep R&D team would be doing. We're going to be trying to do certain components of it highly efficient, very cost-effective. That DNA will always remain the same.
That's awesome. Thanks, Ed. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another episode of AV SuperFriends Perspectives. If you have a perspective to share, you can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.